Good morning and welcome to the History Channel's presentation of A Look into the 50s. I'm Ron Burgundy and this is my partner Veronica Corningstone.
Our first story comes from the year 1950, right as Senator Joseph McCarthy gains power and McCarthyism officially begins. The Internal Security Act was passed in order to create the Subversive Activities Control Board to investigate people who were suspicious of being communist.
I myself think that anyone supporting communism at this point isn't a true American at all.
Don't worry, Johnny. Our government is doing a good job eliminating this problem, as they deny citizenship to anyone supporting and prohibit them from entering or leaving the country.
Wow, it seems like the fear of communism is very prevalent in 1950, Ron.
Why yes, Veronica, it was. In fact, that's the reason the Korean War started.
We are going to spread communism all across the world. Each country will drop like flies into our communist ways. Ha 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 ha.
We refuse. We declare war.
We must stop communism. Let's help.
War got pretty serious and so did the need for artillery. That's why President Truman approved the production of the hydrogen bomb.
Not only were military advancements being made in the US, but there were also plenty of medical advancements, such as the organ transplant.
And here is the first organ transplant.
And technological advancements like the mass production of the computer.
Now moving on to 1951, Ron.
Let's hear it!
First off, the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution was ratified February 27, 1951, meaning that no person shall be elected as the president more than twice.
Secondly, the Mutual Security Act of 1951 has allowed distributed $7 million in foreign aid. It's an extension of the Marshall Plan.
Also, General Douglas MacArthur was fired by President Truman for publicly speaking about nuclear usage in China.
Lastly, we have a few fun facts to talk about here today. This was the year that rock and roll and color TV started in the US and also the Miss World competition.
And with the still camera being built with a flash in it, there were plenty of pictures taken. Now for 1952, I think it's time for a new president. What do you think, Ron?
I think Truman's out of here. Let's see, Stevenson or Eisenhower? And the winner is Eisenhower! I'm very proud to say that I, Dwight Eisenhower, am indeed crazy and an egomaniac because any man who wants to be president is either an egomaniac or crazy. I deplore the need or the use of troops anywhere to get American citizens to obey the orders of constituted courts. I feel implied to speak today in a language that, in a sense, is new one, which I, who have spent so much of my life in the military profession, would have preferred never to use. That new language is the language of atomic warfare. I think that people want peace so much that one of these days, government had better get out of their way and let them have it. I can think of nothing more boring for the American people than to have to sit in their living rooms for a whole half hour looking at my face on their television screens.
In 1953, the Korean War ended in armistice, with neither side able to claim outright victory.
1953? That sounds like the year my favorite magazine came out, Playboy. Marilyn Monroe came in the limelight through the magazine. She was a renowned icon of sexuality.
In the spring of 1954, Joseph McCarthy was discredited in the Army McCarthy hearings. McCarthy picked a fight with the U.S. Army, charging lax security at a top-secret Army facility. The Army hired Boston lawyer Joseph Welch to make its case. At a session on June 9, 1954, McCarthy charged that one of Welch's attorneys had ties to a communist organization. As an amazed television audience looked on, this is what Welch replied.
Until this moment, Senator, I think I never really gauged your cruelty or your recklessness.
But he's a communist.
Let's not assassinate this lad further, Senator. You have done enough. Have you no sense of decency?
Overnight, McCarthy's immense national popularity evaporated. Censored by his Senate colleagues, ostracized by his party, and ignored by the press, McCarthy died 3 years later, 48 years old and a broken man. There shortly after U.S. segregation was made illegal in the case of Brown v. Board of Education.
All public schools must be integrated.
But discrimination doesn't stop there. 1955 was the year Rosa Parks incites the Montgomery bus boycott.
That was also the year the Warsaw Pact Agreement was signed. In the communist bloc, the treaty was the military analog of the Council for Mutual Economic Assistance. Try saying that one 10 times fast. The Communist European Economic Community. The Warsaw Treaty was the Soviet bloc military response to West Germany's May 1955 integration of the NATO pact. Anyways.
Wow, that's really interesting, Ron.
Yeah, it really is, Veronica. In the same year, film star James Dean died in a car accident.
Whoa, whoa! Whoa, whoa! 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 Whoa!
Wow, we're already in 1956, Veronica? I think it's time for another election. Stevenson versus Eisenhower. Who will take the presidency?
And the winner is Eisenhower again. So it looks like Eisenhower won with 457 electoral votes, while Stevenson had a sad 73. Oh, boo-hoo. And Vice President looks to be Kefauver.
It was also the year Elvis hit the scene, stealing the hearts of every American out there. The Eisenhower Doctrine was announced January 5th, 1957. Under the Eisenhower Doctrine, a country could request American economic aid from U.S. military forces if it was being threatened by another state. Eisenhower singled out the Soviet threat in his doctrine by authorizing the commitment of U.S. forces to secure and protect the territorial integrity and political independence of such nations, requesting such aid against overt armed aggression from any nation controlled by international communism. In 1957, the Soviets launched Sputnik, the U.S. founded NASA, and the race to space began. Did you hear about the National Defense Education Act? It was signed on September 2nd, 1958 and provided funding to the U.S. education institutions at all levels. The act authorized funding for 4 years, increasing funding per year. It was influenced by the Soviet launch of satellite Sputnik on October 4th, 1957. Let's see what Hugh Dryden has to say about NASA.
It is of great urgency and importance to our country both from consideration of our prestige as a nation as well as military necessity that this challenge be met by an energetic program of research and development for the conquest of space. It is accordingly proposed that the scientific research be the responsibility of a national civilian agency. NACA is capable, by rapid extension and expansion of its effort, of providing leadership in space technology.
Last but not least, 1959 was the year that Alaska and Hawaii joined the U.S., making the country we all know and love today.
This was also the year Barbie dolls were put on the market. They became an instant craze for young people.
I just want to get my Barbie doll.
You're telling me I've been waiting for hours. Thank you for joining us on History Channel's presentation of A Look into the 50s. I'm Ron Burgundy.
And I'm Veronica Corningstone. We'll see you next Wednesday for A Look into the 60s.
You stay classy, America. Time to get back to my Playboy.
We're selling air on.
Whoops.
Should we do a mustache on you?
If you want.
Yeah.
No, I really don't want to listen to my voice on this thing. We have to make guy voices.
Don't worry, Johnny.
No.
Don't worry, Johnny.
I can't do this. This is so horrible.
I'm going crazy. Okay.
But he's a communist.
Let's not assassinate this lad further, Senator.
You have to assassinate Barbie doll.
You're telling me I've been waiting for hours.
No, don't laugh. No.
Stop texting right now. Come on.
Okay.
That didn't sound good.
Thank you. Thank you all.